Okay, this is my everyday carry gun, so I'm going to unload it for you here. There, completely safe and unloaded. So we will be ready to go here. Okay, today I'm going to do a range report on my Colt Detective Special. I've showed you this gun before. I showed you the refinish. Today we're actually going to deal with how it performs at the range. We'll talk about a couple of different things: performance, accuracy, how well it carries, a couple of different things. But this will be an actual performance report on my new Colt, or new to me, Colt Detective Special. And so let's get going. Okay, we'll start off here. I'll tell you what ammunition I used in the testing. I used 100 rounds of 130 grain Winchester white box full metal jacket. I used 50 rounds of 158 grain MagTech FMC-Flat. And I used 20 rounds of my self-defense carry, which is this here, which is a 135 grain gold dot hollow point. That's specifically made for Snubbie revolvers. It is a 38 special plus P ammo. All the others were regular, just 38 special ammo. So that's what I used for the testing. Okay, first thing I'll talk about is build quality. This is a nice little Colt. What Colt may do a lot of things half-assed, but one thing is not build their guns. This is a really nice made little revolver. I mean, that's smooth. Everything about it's smooth. Even when you click it back in, I mean, it's just effortlessly. It's just smooth. Trigger is really nice. The only thing I will say about Colt is they tend to leave some sharp edges. There were some sharp edges on the hammer, some on the inside around the cylinder here, which I took down. But otherwise, a very solid, well put together gun. I would give it an A for build quality. Not an A+ because they could finish the sharp edges a little more. But other than that, the basics are all here and you got a really nice gun to work with. Okay, now we'll discuss performance and handling. The gun is a revolver, so you expect perfect performance, which it does give you. Not a single failure to feed, not a single failure to fire. The trigger is very comfortable, very smooth, very easy, nice light trigger for a revolver. Everything moves, functions very well. The grips that I fashioned for it give me an extremely good hold on the gun. It holds really well, it points really well, it's very comfortable. Even with plus P ammo, the recoil is pretty negligent, pretty easy to handle. Very well performing gun. You just can't beat revolvers when it comes to performing reliably and consistently, and this gun is no exception. Now, as far as accuracy is concerned, the gun is double action only, as you can see. There's no hammer spur, there's no single action option. So that makes it very unlikely you're going to be shooting jagged little holes at any distance with this gun. But it is such a nice trigger and it handles so nicely that I was able to get some good accuracy out of it at a little over 15 yards, approximately 50 feet. Able to get like 5-inch groups out of it, which is more than adequate for a small revolver like this. At 90 feet, I was able to hit some 8-inch spinners. Not anything I would call consistently dead fire aim, but you really do have to, when you're shooting a double action, you really do have to anticipate that hammer fall. You have to get it to the break and then steady your hand and let it go to get a good grouping. And that's what I did with the group at 50 feet. I really took my time, rested my thighs against the bench, really got some good shots off. I did some close quarters, broken arm shooting. Did pretty good, hit the target every time, but I wouldn't get anything I would consider groups out of it because I haven't practiced with this gun from the hip enough. But the gun itself is capable of being very accurate if you can shoot it. So accuracy is a really good thing with this gun. Okay, now we will discuss concealability. The gun is very easy to conceal. Such as today, I'm just wearing a very light cotton shirt over top of a Henley underneath. The very light cotton shirt is more than enough to conceal the gun. I mean, I've been everywhere today. Bank, bookstore, mall, no one notices anything. It's just very snug, very easy to conceal. So as all Snubbies are, as far as concealability goes, it gets an A+ rating in my book. Now let's discuss some flaws. Well, I told you earlier about how some of the sharp edges on the hammer here and on the inside of the wall here around the cylinder. Took care of that, so that's not the biggest flaw. I mean, that is a flaw if someone doesn't feel comfortable fixing their guns. They could really refine that a little bit. They don't make these anymore, so not like they're going to fix the problem now, but if you find one, you may just be aware of those issues. The only other real flaw is it is a heavy gun. I mean, it's all stainless steel, so you'd expect it to be heavy, and since it is 6-shot and not the standard 5-shot, of a Snubbie revolver. It is a little bit thicker. It's actually more comparable in size to the Ruger SP101, which is a 5-shot, but a little thicker. So this is more comparable in size to that than it is to like a Ruger to a Smith & Wesson J-frame. But still, very easily concealed gun, very small gun, but still a little heavy. But that heaviness also helps with recoil, makes it very comfortable to shoot. My final impression. This is probably the best Snubbie revolver I've ever owned. I've owned a lot, Smiths, Rugers, even a Taurus, some Taurus, and a couple other manufacturers, but this is probably the pinnacle of Snubbies that I've ever owned. It points great, it shoots great, it performs flawlessly, it carries easily, and then on top of it, I mean, it looks really nice. I'm really fond of the way Colts look. I did say a couple of bad things about it in the flaw section, but overall, still the best gun I ever owned. This will probably be my everyday carry for a very long time. I only see it being replaced if I pick up a Magnum carry, which is this gun in 357 Magnum. If I ever find one of those, this gun might get stuck in the safe. Oh, and I may consider buying the single action, double action version of it too, but I actually do prefer a double action trigger for self-defense, so this would probably still stay in my holster even then. So final impression, best Snubbie I ever owned. If you ever run across one at a decent price and you want to get it, I would highly recommend it. They sell on eBay for upwards of over $1,000 a piece. I found this one for a little over $500. It was less than $600 out the door with taxes and everything here in Washington State. So there are deals out there to find. Just look for them. Don't get suckered into playing the high prices on Gunbroker unless you really want one right away. But like I say, great gun. Just don't pay those super high prices on the internet for them. Try to look around and find you one. Tell them you like it, Mavis. See, can't you tell how excited she is? She loves it.